there. Welcome back to my channel. I hope you are doing well. Well, you guys, we're going to go ahead and take a peruse over to Bravo's side of the street. And in particular, we're going to be talking about Rhony, Real Housewives of New York. And apparently a lot of talk around town about what may be happening to the franchise. Well, now we do know that the franchise has been rebooted, and this is the second generation, basically, of this franchise. And it's also in the second season of that franchise, bringing us into now 15 seasons of Rhony as they continued on from the legacy characters. Well, some of the concerns about the show is that, well, there's a lot of rumors going around speaking of possible cancellation of the series, which to me, I was a little bit like, what? Why? Considering the fact of last season, the one that just actually wrapped not too long ago, there was a lot of riveting content, I thought, in the really towards the end of the season. Now, that may be part of the reason why people were thinking that this show is probably not going to continue on in its full cast setup as it is now, because it probably wasn't bringing in the same type of drama that people, wanted to see. Also, people do tend to be a little hard on things when they are new or revised or refurbished or reinvented, because there's a lot of loyalty that's set to the previous, situation. Now, for me personally, I was very much ready for a refresh on New York. I am actually originally from New York City at that, Boogie Down Bronx, for those of you who may be familiar. And I just really felt that this was one of those franchises that really did need a reboot from the many years prior. There might have been some funny moments, and I know that the other legacy characters were fully, beloved and whatnot. And don't get me wrong, there's characters in those scenes and those episodes in those past seasons that I enjoy as well. Like Dorinda, my goodness, she is just all kinds of funny to me. And there's so many others as well. So I do have a few of those ladies that I still do enjoy watching very much, and some of the things that they've been doing since the season. But also at the same time, it was time for a little something different, and I am glad that that took place. So everybody's anticipation of the series was going to feel like it was going to be a little bit of refresh, right? A fresh take on really the what we know of for New York City to be. But of course, it was a little hard to take on some of the subject areas that really divulged towards the end of the season and that Puerto Rico trip that took place this past season. And there was a lot of revelations, a lot of coming to Jesus moments, if you will, and also a lot of just tragic revelations that were brought to the forefront. And so it is understandable to think that if anything, there probably will at least be a pause of some sort for the franchise in order for the ladies to, collect themselves and really see how they can move forward in their friendships, in the cast, if there needs to be some tweaking or changes, so forth and so on. It would be totally understandable, as much as it would also be understandable if you could still bring the same ladies that were already on with some time and space between the seasons, of course, and then have them come back and let's see what the aftermath of that is. And I do think that that can lend itself to a true opening for new freshness in the series as well, and one that could be very heartfelt as well. I don't always think you need to throw out everything with a baby, considering the what is it called, the sink and all that stuff with the baby, right? Sometimes you just need to throw out certain things, change certain things, but you can have a lot here to work with. So with that being said, Bravo felt in its infinite wisdom to come out and put a little bit of clarification to what those rumors were. So let's go ahead and get into the details of that sharing and see what they are having to say about this. So our sharing naturally is coming from people at this point. Usually I'm getting stuff from bravotv.com when it comes to that, but people, look, I love people. So now people is sharing that Bravo clarifies status of Real Housewives of New York series amid cancellation rumors. Now reports swirl that the second longest running Housewives series would be going off air. Bravo was clearing up that confusion regarding a rumor that the Real Housewives of New York City series would be going off air with no word on when it might return. Now, nothing is official. The show hasn't been canceled, a Bravo spokesperson told People on Friday, May 9th. The statement came after Page Six reported the network decided to take Rhony off the air with hopes to reconfigure it. We're trying to figure that show out, an insider told the outlet earlier Friday. We want to figure it out. We think that there's still life in it. Cast member Side De Silva also responded to the rumors by saying, I just heard that Rhony is going off the air. Is that true? She showed as a received text message and a screenshot posted to her Instagram stories. The photo also contained a screenshot of an article addressing the report. It's just fake news, De Silva 44 added to the post. Her season 14 cast members Jenna Lyons, Jessel Tang, Uba Hussein, Lizzie, and Aaron Dana Lynchy and Aaron Dana Lynchy, right? Joined the long-running franchise in a 2023 shakeup. Aside from the original Real Housewives of Orange County, no other Housewives entry has run as long as the Real Housewives of New York City. The series was led by Bethany Frankel, Jill Zarin, Alex McCord, Ramona Singer, and Luann de Lesseps when it premiered on March 4th, 2008. After a tumultuous 13th season that made Rhony history for not ending with a reunion, there was a recast. Now, ahead of her season 14 debut, De Silva spoke exclusively to People in October 2022, calling the then upcoming season a nice fresh start. Now, earlier in the year, franchise executive producer Andy Cohen had told Variety, that we're at a crossroads for Rhony. We spent a lot of time figuring out where to go and the plan that we've come up with. I think it's a real gift to the fans, he told the outlet in March of 2022. This is a major casting search, and we're going to be casting all over Manhattan and the boroughs. Now, season 15 of The Real Housewives of New York City finished airing in February, and I would imagine you could probably go out there possibly and see it on Peacock. Normally, it does share that in the sharings where you could continue to watch the rerun series. So you might want to check out Peacock if you're looking to check out how that season went. I actually saw it as it was going along, and I admittedly in the beginning of the season it seemed to be a little bit slow going. There was a little bit of trite storyline going on at the time, but towards the end of the season, and the Puerto Rican trip that they actually went on, it definitely the tide to change. And really in the last evening, I think right before they were day before, so before they were supposed to be getting ready to go. So yeah, it was a lot, like I said, of revelations and such on that. And hopefully all the ladies are doing well during this hiatus time, getting the much refresh that they need for themselves to really reflect for what needs to be reflected on, as well as to really just take care of themselves. A lot of self-care is definitely needed for a lot of the cast members and for the things that were shared as well. So with that, I definitely would love to know your thoughts. Are you surprised that these rumors were circling around? Or do you think that Rhony still has life in it as it was shared in the sharing? I personally do. I would like to see these ladies come back again and, give it a go for the next season after a little bit of a break. I think that is definitely needed. And and I would like to see some tides changing and some more heart within the ladies, because these ladies actually know each other. So we want to see a lot of that heart and not so much of the, toxic drama without the heart. It's kind of like if you watch a show when it's all toxic all the time, it gets really boring and old really quickly. And there isn't anything to really root for. It might seem okay in the short run, and it may seem funny and exciting to watch and funny, but eventually it will start to wear and tire on you. And we've seen that in many other franchises, such as Real Housewives of Beverly Hills with Lisa Rinna and other, situations as well. And like I said, a whole reboot took place with New York because, it was time for the guard to change. And it had been time, I feel personally, quite some time before it actually took place. But that being said, it did. And I think that, for all intents and purposes, for those of us who are fans of the franchise, definitely giving it a more of a chance is definitely not out the question. So I'm here for the ladies when they get back. I am excited for a new season with all of them, but I wouldn't be surprised if some do change out. But definitely let me know your thoughts below. If you're watching the franchise, watching the show, if you were, a Bravo Real Housewives franchise watcher, let me know down below what your thoughts are about that. Or do you think it's, it's time for them to maybe close the chapter on in New York? But but I hope that they don't. And I hope that whatever the fitting is, it will continue to work for many more years to go. They were able to do it with Orange County, so I don't see why we cannot keep doing it with Rhony. So with that being said, I think I'm going to bid you adieu on this video. Definitely leave your thoughts again down below. And hey, I'm going to be popping another video on the platform today, so I don't want you to miss that. So definitely make sure you have your all notification bells on so you are able to check back in with me and to let me know your thoughts on that video as well. Also too, I also dropped another video earlier today, so if you haven't had an opportunity to take a watch see on that, go ahead and do that after this video, and definitely share your thoughts on that one in the comment section as well. And of course, if you're new here, welcome, welcome, welcome to you. Thank you for being here. And of course, go ahead and hit the subscribe button if you haven't had an opportunity to do so. I would love to have you as part of the family, but so appreciate you being here. And to all of you that are already part of the family, you know how it is. I thank you so much for your continued viewing and listening support, as it does mean so much to me. So with that, I'm going to bid you adieu. You take care, be safe, and I will see you later. Bye.